Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is a special edition of the divisional round playoffs on EA. Just moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Miami Dolphins. With that, let's get down to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, playoff fever has immersed South Florida as we are at Hard Rock Stadium here in Miami. Coming up, it's divisional round Saturday, and we've got an AFC battle on tap between our visitors and the Miami Dolphins. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you talked about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The first of four berths in the conference championships on the line here as divisional weekend in the NFL is underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here's the Charger offense making their way out. And their quarterback, well, everyone knows he's got height, standing at 6'6".
And what I'm looking for from him today, the things every quarterback is looking to do. Lead his team to a victory. Doesn't matter whether he's throwing it, running it, handing it off, however he has to do it, as well as exhibiting some leadership, that's what he's trying to accomplish.
Set 60 Pittsburgh.
They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, no.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Looking to throw. Herbert. And the pressure gets to him again.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long. Why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and that leads to a play action sack. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time here with Matt Breida. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. A look now at the Miami offense.
An excellent year, obviously, because they got the open week, had the bye. But the one thing you always worry about, the rust factor. And I had a coach say to me one time, when you have that open week, you often think about scrimmaging so you're ready to go the next week, but you know you can't. So you cross your fingers.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Uchenna Nwosu coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. To throw on 3rd down. Alonso going down the middle, and it's complete. That's good for a first down. He's a guy who went over 1,000 yards receiving in the regular season, and now he's got his first catch of the playoffs. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Well, they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. He said, write down the word vision for him. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Taking it in from 2 yards out as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, we knew they had the crowd on their side. Their defense has already made a stop, and now here's an opening drive touchdown.
Yeah, how about the defense making the stop, offense feeling their momentum that they've generated, and turning it into points on their side. So now you've got a team working together, and you get the crowd involved fully on their side in this ballgame.
And in this playoff atmosphere, that 12th man means even more. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation. On 3rd down. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now Montgomery, he's got it on the draw. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. From the gun on 3rd down. Herbert. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And certainly they'll be hoping to hit pay dirt like they did on the last drive. Got the football back, so a chance to go up 2 scores.
And they haven't been tentative at all in this ball game. Because sometimes you start a game with your script to try and get information out of the opposing defense. How will they play you in certain situations? Sometimes you script to attack. And that's what I'm seeing so far.
And boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Second quarter from Miami. It's the Dolphins with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield incomplete.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? It's certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and pressure advantage.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're... And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Eric Armstead drops him for a loss of 12, and it also brings up fourth down. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Ready? 55. I got you.
Off the play fake. Herbert. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 32. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
Defense.
So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
A big play that time on the catch and run. Here's Breida. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up.
Under pressure, and he'll go down back at the 26-yard line.
Well, we knew this guy wasn't especially fleet of foot, but he tried to conjure up some escapability, but there was no way he was getting away on that one.
And the 13-year man puts it through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Out comes his field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always
blitz coming, and down he goes.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely been on constant duress this entire game.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Joey Bosa in there to drop him, and sacks on first and second downs. Now leads to a third and long. After the sack, they'll come up now third and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's fourth down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
That's taken on the 25. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you...
Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Matt Breida with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles.
And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And now time is called as we've got an injured Charger down there on the field. We'll get an update when we come back to Hard Rock Stadium. Back to throw. Herbert. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. And they hit the home run last drive. 1 play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Parker, I love your description, because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down.
Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here at a very eventful divisional round weekend. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Looking to throw. Alonso. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
On 1st and 10, Alonso. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. Actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Here comes the 7th play now of this drive, as this is 3rd and 10. From the gun, Alonso. And this throw will be intercepted. Desmond King picks it. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
On 1st down, Herbert finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts.
as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. He's got it to Williams. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Going for the deep ball. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Back to throw. Herbert, pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Here's Jordan Berry now. He's been one of their few. An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. So it's on to halftime of this AFC divisional round matchup. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They'll have a first down past the 40. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Matt Breida saving his best for the playoffs with his 3rd touchdown of the game. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. They'll look good on the extra point. And the lead is now 24. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently, so that's just going to be an incompletion.
Credit the secondary and credit the defensive game plan. They've been in his hip pocket all game long. They understood coming in that he was a big-time receiver.
Looking to throw. Herbert. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you do.
He's got a man, complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. It's a gain of 34.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely look for. How about that?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and And it's 2nd and 2. On 2nd down now, it's Nash. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. An extra cornerback now in the game for the Chargers here on 3rd. Back to throw. Alonzo. And this is caught at the end. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. As his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And right now, Charles, I think you'd have to say their class starting to show through.
Yeah, they were disappointed not to get the #1 seed in the playoffs, but the reality is these guys can play anywhere. It doesn't matter for them.
And if they can indeed hold on to this lead, that's going to set up one heck of a championship game next Sunday.
Let's come back and watch it, shall we?
Something tells me you and I are going to be there. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
They just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of it. Fielded at about the 28. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. He has been consistent, hasn't he? He played well in the 1st quarter, good 2nd quarter, and now continuing that here in the 3rd.
And that's the word that they're always seeking from the guy taking the snaps, is consistency. Taking care of the ball, making sure it gets to the right people, no errors, right? Not turning it over, and just doing all the right things. That's leadership, and it inspires confidence in the team.
Yeah, been a good leadership and a good distributor. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now. An extra defensive back on the field for the Chargers now on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Alonzo. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40.
We always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
A good pickup there, 21 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A 20-yard touchdown as his guys continue to pull it on.
So, my man, another touchdown. They're looking like the #1 seed that they earned throughout the year. Looking pretty dominant right now.
We knew the road to the Super Bowl would run right through this stadium. Somebody's going to have to come in here and beat these guys. Good luck. I don't think it's happening this weekend.
No, definitely not this weekend. And for anyone else out there, bring your game.
Buyer beware. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. So out come the Chargers. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now a pass here caught by Hunter Henry, and he's able to get up here to the 26. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Complete. Hunter Henry with a grab.
Holding offense.
So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Barry on to punt as he gets this one away. And we'll see what he can do on the return. So a change of possession here on the punt. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. They were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
On third down, Alonso nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Uchenna Nwosu picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 12 yards on the return that time. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Chargers getting set to go. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
A gain there of 12 yards and a first down L.A. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He'll get it in the hands of Clark, complete. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Charger first down. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Here's 2nd and 8. He completes it to Henry. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 13-yard line.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination. Guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
On 2nd down, Boyle. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. That 2nd down run a big help as 7 yards leaves him with just a 3rd and 3 now. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg. And they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And those numbers, they kind of tell the story of his game so far. Started off not so hot. Now he's really heated up.
And remember, he signed up for duty as the guy who leads the team, right? The field general, the signal caller. So when things go rocky early, he can't just exit out and ask someone else to pick things up. He's got to do it himself, and that's what he's done here in this game.
Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. On 1st down, here's Breida. Desmond King making the tackle.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
On 3rd down, Nash. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Now it's Breida. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Apparently the week off hasn't hurt him one bit. 1,000-yard rush in the regular season. Got his first touchdown here in the playoffs. Perhaps the week off energized him.
A great article in the paper this morning basically saying that they would not have won the division without him. And he's not their only piece, but I think that's a fair statement.
It's easy to say it this way. He's their main cow.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Use that as ammo going
Exactly.
forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10. The first play of the drive there is incomplete. Now, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. Back to throw. Herbert. And this is caught. Well, they get one back. Picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big.
Well, I do have one word for that touchdown for you, partner. You ready?
Yeah.
Cosmetics.
Just makes things look a little better. I don't know. It's like putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, and it's hard to do, too. The pig doesn't like the lipstick a heck of a lot, but you do like the fact that they're battling down the stretch, still trying to put something on the board, even though this game is over.
By the way, how rude is that to the pig? Look at all the things they give us. Pulled pork, bacon. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. looks like he'll throw here. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A good pickup there, 21 yards. And they're moving on to the conference championship. How about this?
What a tremendous feeling to get to the game.